What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is another Monday ramble. First and foremost, I hope everybody had a great weekend. Had a pretty good weekend. Grilled out with some friends, stuff like that. So, family. Had some good food, some good laughs, and just overall good times, especially kids running around and stuff like that. Get to see that. I appreciate everybody that came out. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. Today we're going to talk a little bit about not giving up. I always talk. All right, so this is a disclaimer, I guess. All these viewpoints that I talk about and say, a lot of times it's my own experience. It's my own way of thinking. It's nobody else's. So I guess you could take it with a grain of salt. If it doesn't align with your values, it doesn't align with how you think, how you see things, and all that kind of good stuff, then it's not for you. Then this channel isn't for you, right? I hope you have a good one anyways, regardless. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about, I lost my train of thought. No, I do this every time. Trying to be happy, right? And being happy, it can entail a lot of things, right? It could require, or it does require things from you as well, such as taking care of yourself, taking care of the things, those responsibilities that you have, and, those obligations that you created for yourself. And, there's times where we'll feel depressed about it and, a whole bunch of different things because, life in general, it sucks. It can suck. All these hard works, all these commitments, all these time crunches that we put ourselves into, get involved with in order to make a living for our loved ones, right? For our family, for our loved ones, for your future, essentially, right? It could be, it keeps your mind off of things, but it could also make you feel depressed. But, you got to take some time whenever you have a little bit of time to, try to relax. Or if you're a busybody and you can't really relax through sitting there watching TV or whatever, like some, quite a bit of people do, you can do other things, pick up like woodworking. You pick up different things that, even though you're doing something, it takes your mind off of that. It's relaxing. Some people build Legos, some people make little ships, some people paint little figurines, there's so many different things you can do. You might fix things, you're not a certified mechanic, but you like to work on things. You're a very mechanical person. You always have been, and you just never went to school for it, right? And I know quite a few people that know a lot about vehicles. They never went to school, right? They just grew up doing that stuff. And, they don't you don't let a degree tell you who you are, for most cases. Of course, there's going to be a lot of other situations where a degree is great, business practices and, things like that. Now, obviously, you need years of experience within that field. And, sometimes there are more cases than none, it's going to involve going to school for it, right? Crunching numbers and having the patience to do that, right? It's not for everybody, and not everybody can do it, So there's things that do require it. There's things that don't require it, like working on your own things, things like woodworking, stuff like that. Yeah, there are like cabinet making or something. There are like schools, you go to trade school or whatever for that type of stuff. But, if you want to just whittle away on like a walking sticks and stuff like that, you don't need no degrees for anything like that. It's got to have the time and put forth the effort to get better at that stuff, right? Learn how to grow things. I recently seen somebody post that they wanted to be a master gardener, but didn't know where to start. It's like, maybe to start by planting something, right? You're going to learn. Last year was my first time planting anything. Was very successful with like peas and green beans and things like that, corn, a little bit, but I wasn't successful at everything. The jalapenos weren't a success. I grew some flowers that were not a success. So, and I learned from that, and I changed up how I was doing some of it this year, and I see that some of those plants are those jalapeno plants are sprouting up a lot better than last year. That flower that I was working on sprouted up way bigger. It's big as crap. I can't wait to harvest it and go from there, right? You live and you learn. You fail and then you succeed. You learn how to do these things, and these things contribute to making you happier, right? You you get frustrated, yeah, but then you're really happy that when you're able to succeed, that you learn something, that you are able to improve upon something, going on to the next step of life, right? Next step of whatever it is that you want to do. Those things, like, to me, those are things that help people be happy, and it might not be that same for everybody else, right? Other people have different ideas of happiness depending on what stages of life you're in, depending on what you have, what you regard as riches, what you regard as, close, anything like that, right? We all have different ideas of what certain things are, and they mean different things to each and every one of us. So, there's going to be people that do like woodworking for a living, and they have to get away from that, right? But, whatever it is, hopefully you find some type of happiness, something that gets you away for a little bit, Some people's happiness is just going on a vacation once a year for a couple weeks, for a month or something like that, to go recharge the batteries, not refresh, my bad. But, little things like that. Sometimes you just need a getaway, even though it could be within the confines of your own home. It could just be a trip down to the lake. It could be, camping trip. It could be many different things. It's just a matter of what it means to you to go out and do those things, right? Sometimes, I have friends that I recommend doing things like that, and they're like, man, I'm broke. I don't have money, whatever. I always bring it up if I see that they're smokers or they like to drink every weekend. Like, I'll throw that out there, and it's never like a slap in the face. It's more of maybe there's something you got to change up, because drinking is not cheap. Smoking cigarettes is not cheap. Doing anything like that, buying drugs, not cheap, it's expensive. And some people, all their money goes to it, Here in Minnesota, the pack of cigarettes is the cheapest I could see is like $9. I remember when I quit, it was about the most expensive cigarette was like $7. Still a lot, but that was like Marlboro Red 100s or some shit. They might have even, it was about $7, almost $8, and I quit. So I guess inflation ain't too bad, but they got up to like $11-12 for a while. It seems like even some of those cigarettes are more expensive than that, and I'm like, oof. And at that time, I used to just roll my own cigarettes, about a little machine, buy pipe tobacco, pack them in there, do the little machine, it'll fill up a cigarette for you. It was way cheaper. I think when I first started doing that, cigarettes were like 50 cents. If you averaged it out, so we're like, oh man, it pays for itself essentially, because you're not paying that much for cigarettes and whatnot, and or it was like $2, maybe $3 a pack or something. I can't remember, but it was really, really cheap alternative. But when it's almost like anything else. When the market sees that a lot of people are doing that, they seize their opportunities to market those things up, right? It was like right before COVID. It seemed like meats and stuff like that were like cheap. But right after COVID, like meat skyrocketed, especially like steaks and stuff like that. Even rice went up, even, stuff like that. And it was almost like the health fad things. Like, oh, okay, these are healthier for people. They're starting to buy these. These go way up. But you could see the prices on things that didn't go up were other things that were maybe even a little bit more expensive than those things because people weren't consuming those as much anymore, right? It's weird because, I don't know, there's a lot of weird things that go on with that kind of stuff. I don't, it goes beyond my capabilities and my rationale, my ability to see things, right? Because I don't control those things. I don't say what's what or anything like that. That's, that goes to way more intelligent people that decide the cost of things in people's areas, like gasoline, stuff like that. Like, why is this town right next door 50 cents cheaper, or why is some little towns that seem like they're more impoverished way up there, like what the heck kind of crap is this? Why is some towns that are bigger city than others cost less for gas, It's a lot of weird questions like that. And then there's, like in our town, they'll be like, the gas prices are up because it costs so much to deliver there. And then you're like, the surrounding areas are cheaper though. Isn't it almost the same same type of drive, some of them further than ours? And they're like, I don't know what to tell you, you know what I mean? It's like, for sure, man. It doesn't make sense to me neither. So, but anyways, I don't know how I got over here, but if anybody's, you still, you're someone that listens to quite a bit of rambles, that I get off track very easily. But, happiness isn't always what it appears to be. It isn't always what you might envision it being. But, grass is always greener on the other side. And when you think of things and envision these things happening and being executed, you see perfection. But when you go to do these things, it's not going to be perfect, right? It's not going to. And those are the memories that you're going to hold on to. I'll use an example of when I used to drink a lot, right? People their funniest stories were something that happened that was, goofy, some goofy crap that happened that, somebody, you're just walking around along the trail and then somebody trips and then they face plant into some poop or something, you know what I mean? And, or you go to some abandoned place with your cousin and you guys hop the fence, or you go to hop the fence and then you found out it was electric, so somebody got shocked and peed their pants, stuff like that. Or somebody, you guys were drinking, somebody peed on the fence, got shocked on their willy or something, stuff like that. Those aren't perfect situations whatsoever, but those are funny, and they came out of nowhere. Nobody planned for that. There's one time my little brother was riding his bike. I threw a football. We were just throwing it at him. We were kind of knuckleheads in that way, and it got lodged between the bike frame and his front tire, and it stopped because it got wedged in there from his tire going, so fast, whatever. And he launched over the handlebars because of the sudden stop, and he looked like Superman in there because his arms went forward and before he face planted on the ground. And I was laughing, but I was also like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't try to do that. And for the longest time, he thought I did it on purpose. And I was like, I swear to you, I am not that accurate at throwing a football. And I had to prove it to him by redoing it, because I was like, see, I can't throw the football perfectly when I want to. It just happened, I'm not that accurate. And, it is what it is. Those funny moments like that is, they're once in a lifetime at times, and you don't know until they do happen. So, but anyways, I hope everybody has a good one. Remember to smile. Remember if you're having a hard time, man, plan something out. Do something that gets you out. You're depressed. You got to talk about it. Find somebody that you trust to talk about it. Or if you don't feel like you have that, or you don't want to burden somebody with those things, you got to find some help. There's postings for within town. There's BetterHelp. There's a bunch of different avenues to try to explore if you're serious about that. And like I say, if anybody wants to reach out, you could reach out to me at cloudslayer53@gmail.com if you ain't got no other extensions to find me. If you got me as friends on Facebook, you find me there. Just hit me up, you know. Name's Travis Cloud on Facebook. Hit me up there. But anyways, until next time, I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.